Hello folks, so this is the chapter about interactive shell. What good a program is if it cannot take input from the user. So starting from this chapter we'll learn how we can take input from a user and use it. Let us see what is this read command. So in your script, sometimes we have the logic, we have all the formulas, but the input we want from the user or the application to take from some config file. In those scenarios, there should be some way to provide the value of variables from the user. For that, the read command is used. So let us see how that works. If I give read name and enter, the prompt waits there for us to provide a name. Suppose I say Alex and enter. So now the read command took the string which I gave and assigned it to the variable name. So if I do echo $name, it would say Alex. So this is how the read command works. How it is useful? So to know that, we will do an hands-on exercise now. So the first hands-on exercise, we want to ask from a user a pattern to be searched inside the directory in all the files and to list only those files which have that pattern. So this is, we can achieve this by using grep. So we have files which have, so we have a file called names which has all these names. If we do grep -l, which is to list the files which have certain pattern, so I'll give bill and then star, so it gives us the file name where this bill is present. But suppose there is a complex commands, a complex logic which you don't want to user to run, but want to take an input from the user and run your program on that input. How we can achieve that? So to know how that works, I'm creating a simple shell script. We'll give it name search.sh. Then we'll first print a message for the user, enter the pattern. We'll use read command there, p, so it will take the pattern which user has given and assign it to p, and then we'll run the grep command using that variable. So we have to put $p because we are using that variable now, and then in all the files of the directory. That's it. So if you see, it basically uses the grep command only, but we don't want to user to know the grep command. We don't want user to always remember what switches with the grep we are using. Just user want to know a program name called search.sh, when he gives a pattern, it will list down the file names. Let us see how that works. So if I run the current shell using the dot operator, if you remember, when we run it, it will ask for a pattern. If I give, last time with grep we gave bill, so if I will give Steve's name. Okay, so it is, when I press enter, it gave the file name as name. So you can check again, Steve is present here in the names file. So we will have another example, search the pattern. I'll give, because there is a file which has different file car names, so I'll give a car manufacturer name Ford. Okay, so it has written two files, car underscore models and models. So let me check. Okay, so here is models, there is the Ford, cat, car, models here again. So here what we are doing is we are hiding the implementation from the user, taking on just the input from the user, So this is the very simplest example how shell script which takes a input from user works. We'll in the further chapters we will work on some complex scenarios as well. But to get the understanding more, I'm giving you an exercise. You have to take two numbers from the user and display the sum of the two numbers. You have to take first one number from user, then ask for another number and display the sum of the two numbers on your screen. You can pause the video and work on that program. Hope you were able to do that. Let us see how we can do that. So the exercise was to get two numbers, to ask the user one by one two numbers and then display the sum of the two numbers. Let us try creating that shell script. Enter first number, read num1. So whatever first number user gives will be assigned to num1. Echo dollar, enter second number, read num2. Now we'll have a variable called sum to which we'll assign the sum. And for mathematical calculations, inside this backtick code we have to use command expr, which is short for expression. So what it will do is it will calculate the mathematical expression which we are giving here is dollar num1 plus dollar num2, and again closing with this backtick. So you have to remember expr, and there will be spaces between number 1 and plus, and then there is a space between plus and the number 2 as well for this formula to really work. So after executing this, our sum will be the total of these two numbers will be put in the sum variable, which you can display like this: equal total is sum. Simple. Just save and exit. Now if I run this, I am running it in child shell. I'll ask for a number. I will give a random number. I'll ask for a second number for the second read statement. So total is 40. So this is how this works. And just to recap it, you know the usage of read. Just remember, in the backticks, using expr we can put some calculations, but we have to give spaces in between those two variables. We can even try to edit. Okay, let's edit it, and we can create a multiplier program using the sum. We'll just copy sum.sh normal.sh here. It doesn't matter if your formula is correct. Doesn't matter the variable name doesn't matter, but just have to remember, when you are using the multiply operator, that is star, then you have to use backtick. Even for the division it is like that. Just for minus and plus you can directly use it. For division or multiplication you have to use a backslash here. Just for clarity, I will change the variable name to product. If you take your cursor to that word and if you press escape and CW, you can change that word. CW means change word. Well, again press escape colon WQ, which is to write in quit. If I run sh mul.sh, it will ask for one number, second number, and total is 8 because we are doing the multiplication now. So this is how expr works, and this is how the read command helps us to get a input from the user. Hope it is useful. Thanks folks.